What's that word mean? Did you know?
So I'm a professional organiser, and I go and help women in their homes to clear the clutter and start having a home that they enjoy being in again, that can find what they want, and they're not wasting time all the time trying to find things that is in amongst all the clutter. I was starting to have friends and family say, "Hey Amy, can you come and help me to organise my house?" Because they saw that the systems that I had in place and the things that I was doing was totally working for us. And so they started asking me to come in, and then it was just word of mouth and referral from there. The 2nd of July 2016, I had never thought of writing a book before, and I was at a workshop and learnt about writing a book and signed up that day to become a published author. Well, for me, I went through the ultimate 48-hour author program. So publishing was all included in the package, which for me was priceless because I didn't have time. I didn't have time to find all the different parts of what it takes to publish a book. And so that was included, and I just went through the process, so it made it nice and easy for me. Good old Facebook ads. So a Facebook post came up on my feed, and I clicked on it and went and actually did a half-day workshop with Natasha and Stuart Denwin, and that's where I learnt about how to become a published author and use that to grow your business. Because the system was so easy to follow for me that I had actually finished my book before the retreat actually came about. So I was able to write my book in 9 days. I just followed the system and had all the information in me already, and it was really easy then to get my first manuscript done. You sure did. 43 days from deciding to write a book to having my book in my hands. Brilliant. I had an amazing editor who I can't wait to use for my second book, who just understood me, worked brilliantly with me, and the whole system just happened. I didn't find that it was difficult at any point. Email, phone, they're so good at what they do that I was able to leave my book in their hands very happily. The editing process was probably one of my favourite bits of writing the book, because I loved seeing what someone else brought to my story and how they understood it and getting their feedback on it. So the process was really easy. The quality of the book itself is amazing. I love it. It's a professional book. It doesn't look like I self-published, which I did, but it came out really well. The scary part for me was, will anyone want to read it? That was the hesitation that I had. But the good news is they did, and I've sold hundreds of copies. So the scary bit was not in the writing or in the publishing, but in the confidence in myself. But through the process, and through the process of writing and editing and producing the book itself, it was like permission to have confidence. So by the time that I actually had the book in my hand, I was so confident that it would help people that I was ready to go out there and tell the world about it. Absolutely. I was asked at a webinar 2 nights ago what for me was kind of that trigger for my business booming, and 100% it was writing my first book. It took my business from what I would consider a part-time hobby, so I was able to make a little bit of money from it, but it certainly was not a full-time income, to now where I'm on my way to a 6-figure business. I've got staff, I'm full-time in the business, and I love it, and I've got an awesome lifestyle that I get to spend time with my kids and my husband while also running that business. So writing the book without a shadow of a doubt, was the trigger point for me in booming my business. I've never paid for any advertising. So for me, a lot of what I learned through the Ultimate 48-Hour Author Program was how to market my book and how to market myself and use my book to market my business. So when I'm out and about and I'm meeting people or I'm wanting to do some things online, being a published author is actually a really great way to show that you're an expert in your field, which was what my primary goal was. I wanted to be an expert in my field, and writing a book for me was a significant part of that. All the time. I sometimes look at it, and when I often hand a book to a client when I start working with them, and their response reminds me how unique it is to actually be a published author. Not just to talk about wanting to write a book, but doing it and having them in your hot hands. It's quite surreal. The moment when I got to come into Busybird and pick up my 500 copies of my book was one of my career highlights. It was that pinnacle of not only did I think about it, but I did it and I succeeded, and it was amazing. So I have co-authored a book since publishing Simply Organised, which we also publish through Busybird. But I'm wanting to do another book just by myself again, another book around decluttering. When I wrote my first book, I felt like every single thing I knew about decluttering, I put in here. And yet only 2 years later, I feel like there's so much more that I've got to share. I think that happens with a book. You feel like you give it everything, and then a couple of years later, you're like, oh, I've actually got so much more knowledge that I've developed. So it would definitely be all about decluttering. I think it's an amazing marketing tool for your business because it sets you apart as an expert. For me, it gave me a real confidence to go out there, and it gives something tangible in your hands for you to give people. So as door prizes, or if you've got an organizer of an event, I hand my book to all my clients.
It's all right.
Can you see the dog though?
No, I can't.
Okay. I hand my book to all my clients, and it is a great way for me to give them something tangible. It's not just giving them a business card that they can throw out. People don't throw out books. So by giving them a book, it's a way that they'll remember me and does set me apart. So if you have a business, my recommendation is have a look at what writing a book could do for you, because for the investment that I made in getting my book published, I've had that returned 10 times over in the last 2 years. Ooh, lots, I hope. I've had some great opportunities since writing my book. I now run online courses. I do a little bit of media, and I love servicing my clients and helping them declutter their homes. So I'm a bit of a, there's always something gurgling in the back of my brain for my business development. But at the moment, online courses is really an area that I'm focusing on. And then I get to fly all around Australia now and help people declutter their homes. So that's something I look forward to continuing as well. simplyorganised.net is my website, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram as simplyorganisedpo, and you'll find all my contact details on there. I would say that regret is harder to live with than, no, hang on, what's the saying? Sorry, Kev.
It's all right.
Ah, yeah, I remember it. I would say that in writing a book, there's risk, but I would prefer to live with risk than regret, and I would regret having not written this book and put my knowledge and wisdom out to the world. So there's always going to be risk, but don't regret it. Take the risk, and you will reap the rewards of becoming an author and being published and holding your book in your hands. Thanks for having me.
Did you know?
Hi everyone, we have some new books in this week. This one is about Narelle Wersh's twins. They were premature and she has written a story about, well, it's kind of like a diary of her experience in the hospital, and we have some photos inside of them now to see that even though they had a really tough start in life, here they are. They're about to turn 20. Well, the two books that we hot off the press are by Helen Middleton, and they are books for teens and people who are working with teens, and also great resources for people coming out of being a teen into adulthood. So Helen lives in Tasmania, and these are literally hot off the press. She hasn't even seen them herself yet. Hi everyone, did you know that we produce a little anthology of short stories called Untitled? This was actually our very first publication about 10 years ago. So we are now up to, we've done 7 issues altogether, and we're going to be open submissions on the 3rd of September, closing the 31st of October for short stories. So if you have any short stories, keep an eye out for that being open so that you can submit your short stories and get published in our next edition. Thanks. Hi guys, so we have just set our dates for the rest of our program for the rest of the year, all the way up to December. We have got lots of great workshops. We have publishing options, so if you're wondering what to do with your book, whether to go self-publishing or traditional publishing, this is a great one to work out the best route for you. We have life writing, so if you're writing a memoir, or even if you're writing a non-fiction book but there's an element of life writing in it, that's a really good workshop. We actually have a 10-week session called Your Right Time at Busybird Publishing, and that is so that you can come into our studio and write. So it's a very dedicated time, 10 weeks in a row on a Monday. We also have our regular Publish for Profit, which is on the first Wednesday of the month. And we have quite a few great topics which will help you with your publishing and your writing. Topics such as write a book synopsis, your book pitch, get more reader reviews, blogging for writers, and metadata for books. We also have a weekend-long book camp. So that is going to help you write and publish your book. So the whole weekend we're going to be working intensively on how to get your book ready, written and ready for publication. And we have our writing retreat, which is a little bit more special. That's at Carmacking Lake in August, and the early bird for that finishes on the 20th of July. So all of these workshops with all of the content, all the details about it and prices are on our website. Thanks.
Okay, another interview at Busybird. I'd like to introduce you to Clarissa. So, what is your role here at Busybird?
I'm an intern here at Busybird.
Yep. And how long have you been here?
3 months now.
3 months?
Yes.
Wow, everyone's saying that's gone so quick.
It has.
And tell us why you decided to do an internship here.
I started out writing a novel and got really interested in the whole industry of writing, and decided I'd go for a career change to become part of the writing industry, and so taking some steps.
Cool.
Found this step.
And gaining skills.
Gaining lots of skills, lots of experience, finding out new stuff every day, learning lots.
So, what industry did you come from to this publishing industry?
The IT industry.
Yep.
Corporate IT. Yep.
Bit of a sea change.
Yes, did a lot of writing in that industry. So still similar, but yeah.
Cool. And what do you expect to do after the 6 months? What kind of job would you like to do in the industry?
I'd like to, I'm kind of like the jack of all trades kind of thing. I like to do a mixture of everything, keep things interesting. I'm very interested in the manuscript assessment. It's very good. And events, yeah. Cool. Events, things like that, organising book launches, lots of things that other people hate, I love.
Cool. All right then, thank you.
Thanks.